We're going to talk about another movie that we screened, came out a couple weeks ago, and we got an opportunity to see it. It stars the great Jeff Bridges' brother.
Yeah, I like Bo. Bo's a good guy. I'm a Stargate fan.
I know,
Bo Bridges gave me 2 good seasons of Stargate.
Yes. So we're going to talk about him playing an old country western outlaw. We're going to talk about The Neon Highway.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm one of your hosts, Kyle Goethe from GoatFilmReviews.com.
Hey, I'm Nick from the St. Paul Filmcast, and yes, do us a solid. Hit the like and subscribe button right down there. And tell your friends about the show. It's a little things you can do. It's a big thing for us. Both Kyle and I are members of the Minnesota Film Critics Alliance. Check out the webpage for critics reviews as well as ours. Hey, Kyle, do we have a Patreon?
We have exactly one.
We got a Patreon. Check it out on our Patreon. We got some great content, great deals, and opportunities to tell us what movies we could screen on future episodes. With, of course, a shout out to you as well.
Yeah, there's always something on the Patreon. There's early access to any of our episodes that we get done before their release date.
Yeah.
We have 2 episodes exclusive every single month. There's picks, and there's our Road to De Palma, and then you also get to pick episodes we get to talk about. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to get, and all you have to do to join and get at those kinds of tiers is $5, but we also have tiers as low as $1. So join up and get some access.
All right. So, talking Neon Highway, what is going on?
All right, so Wayne is a singer who put away his guitar following a family tragedy. When he meets country music legend Claude Allen, they head to Nashville in order to sell Wayne's song, but he quickly finds that Claude has burned every bridge he had across the city.
See on the poster, it stars Bo Bridges. He plays an aging country singer. And it stars Rob Hayes. I think you had a kind of a country singing career as well, if I remember right.
I became aware of Rob Hayes, actually. He played
Hayes.
the titular John in Don Coscarelli's John Dies at the End, which is a kind of a wacky, quirky little movie from the early 2010s. Very odd. There's, I think, a chicken monster. But that's Don Coscarelli for you. He also appeared in Thor
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
It's a pretty safe monster compared to Bo's Afraid.
That's also true, yeah.
All right, so it stars other country singers like Lee Brice and Pam Till, and then it has T.J. Power in the beginning of the movie, directed by William Wages. I think he did a couple episodes like Yellowstone. He's directed a lot of television. And then he wrote this with Philip, I'm going to murder your last name, sorry, Bellary,
yeah.
Bellary. Definitely, I can see the passion for country with everybody involved. I understand that it just fills it up, that people who love this genre.
Yeah, and full disclosure, I don't listen to a lot of country music.
No,
so
we
honestly,
don't.
you could have told me that Claude Allen was a real person. I'd be like, oh yeah, I love, oh man, I love his music. I can't wait to watch his biopic. So I think going into this movie, I didn't have a clue. And I'm sure most of the people involved in the film probably have a background in country music. Didn't work on me at all. Just went right past me. But I'm always interested in kind of these smaller tale stories about musicians because I happen to know a lot of smaller musicians.
Yeah. So if you didn't understand this, it's about the an old country singer trying maybe one last hurrah, one last rodeo show before he drifts off into the sunlight. I get the story he was trying to say. I understand this character, this Carl Allen, of you can't get away from it, and when you're away from it, it wrecks you almost. But nobody can tell you to stop, but you can't never stop.
Yeah,
Even
he's got
when
that
you are
addictive
stopped.
element to him. He kind of went cold turkey for a while, and now it's back to it, and now he's got the bug, and it's kind of itching. So
right, and everything, his life is all kind of falls apart. The only thing that really he does well is probably perform on stage. Everything else in his life is a wreck. Even his home is all wrecked, but when he's on stage, that's where he excels. I like that mixture of a kind of a character. And then you have Rob Hayes, who seems like his life is the complete opposite, where his life is, he's got a great job, he's got a great family, he's got great kids, but when he's on stage, it doesn't translate very well.
Yeah, and it's kind of, he's turned away from the hardest part of his life, which is the creating, and kind of has become comfortable with this place in which he's at, but he's not exactly happy with himself.
I love it. I love that cliche. I love it. Is the patriarch doesn't have time for the immaculate breakfast to eat and talk to his kids. I love that cliche.
That's fair. I don't dislike it at all.
No, I enjoy it. And you have it with the Rob Mays kind of character. So you have the balance act of show me how to be a good performer and then show me how to be a better person. And Right. You have not the lone wolf and cub story, but you have the mentor and apprentice kind of a story. Right. If you can't do lone wolf and cub, might do mentor and apprentice. Right.
Yeah. Well, and you've got here, these guys and their outlook is a bit different in that I think Wayne, Rob Mays' character, is more interested in. He's more interested in the people that he's affecting as he passes through them,
Right.
but that's at the detriment of his creation. Whereas Claude is more interested in the creation than he is in the people he affects to get where he needs to be.
No, they're opposite. Great opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just have that kind of compulsion to work together, but they couldn't be further apart, and they're actually both damaging each other throughout the entire time.
Yeah.
Wayne's character is somebody who is using this to get to the top, but at the same time he's seeing that like Claude really can't help him in the way that he wants him to, but he has this belief in people that I
Right.
think is second to none. And that's why it causes such a strained relationship with his brother in those opening scenes, is because he makes a jerk move in the opening of the film, but one that's what he learns from throughout the rest of the film is because I did this happened, this horrible thing took place.
Right. It's bookended by that tragedy of Rob May's character want to be successful. Doesn't really work out for him, but he's going to find another avenue with using Beau Bridges' character to work, and Beau Bridges is using him as opportunity to get back into the game. And right, there is some toxicity. Everybody has kind of a hidden agenda to themselves. It's the name and the nature of kind of what you want to do with the music industry that still kind of exists.
Yeah.
I knew where the movie was going throughout the whole process, and I'm not angered where it went.
The things I totally saw coming were kind of those tropes, those classic beats that you're going to hit.
Yeah.
It tries a few swings at twisty turniness, especially with some of the, not reveals at the end, but the actions that Wayne takes as the film goes on and kind of where Claude's story ends up. I think they tried some things that were going to be a unique, like, oh. But the problem is I never bought the oh moments. You know, especially some of Wayne's choices near the end of the film.
The soft moments work well. The Rob Mays having coffee at the hotel desk, and having that great dialogue with the woman. That's what works.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and just seeing that how the characters kind of change because of these events, these twisty moments. He makes some choices at the end involving the song itself and how he wants the song to be portrayed. And I think the song is good, but the way in which he tries to like act out this redemptive arc with it, I don't think that really worked at all. I think that the character of Claude, he's so unlikable, even though he is enigmatic, and I think that comes from Beau Bridges' ability to play somebody who is unlikable and make them still likable. But I wish there would have been more sequences of kind of dealing with kind of like what caused Claude to basically burn these bridges, what caused him to kind of lose the faith of the others around him, because we see what he's doing in the moment here, but I would have liked some extrapolation with that. I think he's the more interesting character, and we're looking at the film through Rob's view of him, or through Wayne's view of him.
Yeah. I would like a little more daring of kind of the asshole behaviors that got Claude everybody scorched him, even though he's a likable person. It's hard to do, having somebody has a charisma and likable, but does really repulsive things.
Yep.
And present those things. Because throughout the process, you kind of feel sorry for him, no matter what he's transpired. I want to see something that's really repulsive for him.
Yeah.
Whether like Kirk Douglas's character in The Bad and the Beautiful. I want something that really he pulls a rug out of people. That's like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that person.
Yeah, because the thing is, he's a tragic. You feel bad for him. I felt like a certain point like that, like his redemption was kind of too far gone for me.
Yeah.
But then, the Wayne's issue is that he never really cuts like that tie. He never really gets like his moment to be angry about being taken advantage of in such a way, because he is being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
That much becomes very clear as the film goes on. I just think he never really does enough about it. You know, and then he kind of says like, "Why? I feel bad for him, so I'm going to do this to help him. I'm going to do this to help him." I don't feel bad for Claude, to be honest. I feel like by the time we've kind of left his story off, I don't feel bad, even though I feel he's a tragic character. I feel like he's getting what he deserves.
Yeah.
And so I don't have the same kind of look at him that Wayne does, and maybe that's a failure in the writing, in that we don't. I personally didn't feel like I needed redemption for Wayne. I needed redemption for Claude.
You need something that flushes out what angered everybody from Beau Bridges' character, Claude.
Yeah, especially because
really flush it out. Where you don't write safe. Something that's really kind of, he scampered his way to making millions or something like that.
Yeah, this actress, Sandra Thomas, who plays Pepper, she's the woman running the hotel with her husband.
Yeah.
I
really like this kid. Yeah.
She's really great, and in fact, she's in Minnesota shot Jingle All the Way. But she has a past with Claude, and she has a past with her husband and Claude, and how their relationship is twisted, and we hint at that a lot. I would have liked to have dived into that a little bit more, because when there's a moment at the end where she goes to see Claude, and I didn't really buy that interaction because we didn't have it fleshed out. She spends the whole movie being angry at him or disappointed or warning Wayne that this is a bad thing for you. But then she flips the switch really quick.
Well, then then the entire time you're just a siren.
Yep.
You're just a siren. You need something else.
Yeah, so I didn't mind the
like
constantly building frustrations throughout the whole film. It's just there's a few swings taken at the end where I was like, I wish that had landed better.
Yeah. All right. Have the opportunity to see The Neon Highway, and what do you think of our comments? Add a comments down below and keep the conversation going.
Yeah, the film was shot in March of 2021, so on the 3-year anniversary, smaller films take a lot longer to get released, and thank goodness it finally found a release date. Let us know your thoughts on the film down below, and maybe give us some of your country music background before you do, because I think that may give a little bit of more like or dislike to the film depending on your attachment to that. We'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys for joining us so very much, and thank you for the studio for sending us the screener of the film too. If you're a studio and you're looking to get your film seen by more people, let us know here at Kyle and Nick on Film. We do really want to support some of those smaller films and get them out and discussed more. So thank you for joining us, and you can find all of my film reviews over at goatfilmreviews.com.
GoatReviews.com. You can find my show, the St. Paul Filmcast, now, really, anywhere you find podcasts.
Any country music singers on there?
Not yet.
Maybe next season.